Imagine wandering through the narrow, winding streets of Istanbul, where every turn feels like stepping into a different century. The air is filled with the aroma of fresh simit, the call to prayer echoes through the ancient city, and the mix of Byzantine, Ottoman, and modern architecture tells a story of empires past. From bustling bazaars to quiet hidden courtyards, Istanbul is a living museum where East meets West and history lives on every corner. This is not just a trip, it's a journey through time, waiting to be explored. Today, we will talk about Lost in the Streets of Istanbul, a journey through time. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Getting lost in the streets of Istanbul is not just a mishap, it's a privilege. This enchanting city, straddling two continents, offers an experience unlike any other. Istanbul is a living, breathing tapestry of history, where each neighborhood feels like a different chapter in a centuries-old book. The moment you step into its streets, you are walking on layers of history, from the grandeur of the Byzantine Empire to the elegance of the Ottoman period and into the vibrancy of modern-day Turkey. Istanbul is not merely a city to visit, it is a city to feel, to taste, to listen to, and to lose yourself in, because only then can you truly experience its soul. Istanbul has been called many names: Byzantium, Constantinople, and finally Istanbul, each name carrying the legacy of the era it represents. Its streets hold remnants of three empires, and it is one of the very few cities in the world that has been the capital of both Christian and Islamic empires. The city's geography alone makes it unique. Sitting between Europe and Asia, divided by the blue waters of the Bosphorus Strait, Istanbul is the bridge between East and West, literally and culturally. When you wander through its streets, you can feel this duality. The modern trams running past thousand-year-old monuments, the sight of skyscrapers in the distance while you sip tea in a centuries-old tea house. Every corner is a juxtaposition of old and new, traditional and modern, serene and chaotic. Begin your journey in Sultanahmet, the heart of Istanbul's historical peninsula. Here, the streets lead you to the architectural marvels that have stood for centuries. The Hagia Sophia, originally built as a Byzantine church, later turned into a mosque by the Ottomans, and now serving as a mosque again, is a masterpiece that reflects the city's spiritual and political history. Its massive dome, mosaics, and Islamic calligraphy panels are a testimony to Istanbul's role as a crossroads of civilizations. Just across the square is the Blue Mosque, officially called the Sultan Ahmed Mosque, with its 6 slender minarets and mesmerizing blue tiles that give it its popular name. Strolling through this area, you cannot help but feel humbled by the weight of history. Every stone has witnessed empires rise and fall. From Sultanahmet, follow the cobbled streets that take you to the Grand Bazaar, one of the oldest and largest covered markets in the world. This labyrinth of more than 4,000 shops sells everything from hand-woven carpets and colorful ceramics to gold jewelry and Turkish delights. Getting lost here is almost a rite of passage. The bazaar is a microcosm of Istanbul itself, bustling, colorful, chaotic, and full of surprises. Bargaining with shopkeepers, sipping apple tea offered as a sign of hospitality, and hearing the rhythmic call of merchants trying to attract customers immerse you in a sensory overload that feels timeless. But Istanbul is not just about its well-known landmarks. Its real charm lies in its hidden streets and neighborhoods that many tourists never explore. Walk into Balat and Fener, 2 of the city's most historic districts. These streets are lined with brightly painted wooden houses, Greek Orthodox churches, Armenian schools, and old synagogues, reflecting the multicultural past of Istanbul. Balat, once a Jewish quarter, is now a trendy area filled with quirky cafes, antique shops, and street art, yet it retains its nostalgic vibe. Wandering here feels like stepping back into the 19th century, where you can still hear echoes of horse carriages and street vendors. Crossing the Galata Bridge takes you to Karaköy and Galata, neighborhoods that blend bohemian charm with contemporary life. Here you will find the iconic Galata Tower, built by the Genoese in the 14th century, offering panoramic views of the Bosphorus and the city skyline. The streets around Galata are narrow, steep, and full of character, lined with small art galleries, boutique stores, and third-wave coffee shops. This area represents Istanbul's creative side, where tradition meets modernity seamlessly. Of course, no journey through Istanbul's streets is complete without a ferry ride across the Bosphorus to the Asian side of the city. Neighborhoods like Kadıköy and Üsküdar offer a more local and relaxed vibe. Kadıköy is known for its lively markets, street food stalls selling midye dolma, stuffed mussels, and simit, and trendy bars that stay open late into the night. Üsküdar, on the other hand, is more traditional, with Ottoman mosques overlooking the water and tea gardens where locals sit for hours watching the sunset over the European skyline. These neighborhoods remind you that Istanbul is not just a tourist destination. It is home to millions of people who live their everyday lives amidst this historical backdrop. Food is an inseparable part of getting lost in Istanbul. Every street offers something delicious to try. From kebabs sizzling on street grills to gözleme, Turkish stuffed flatbread, cooked by elderly women in corner stalls, to sweet baklava and Turkish delight in pastry shops, the city is a paradise for food lovers. Do not miss the experience of sitting down for a traditional Turkish breakfast, which is not just a meal, but a feast with a spread of cheeses, olives, eggs, jams, honey, fresh bread, and endless tea served in tulip-shaped glasses. Eating in Istanbul is not just about filling your stomach. It is about sharing, connecting, and immersing yourself in the culture. The spiritual aspect of Istanbul is felt not only in its mosques and churches, but also in its soundscape. The call to prayer that echoes 5 times a day from hundreds of minarets across the city creates a unique rhythm that guides your day. You may find yourself pausing in the middle of a street to listen as the azan reverberates through the hills of Istanbul, blending into a hauntingly beautiful chorus. Similarly, the sound of seagulls over the Bosphorus, the clinking of tea glasses, and the chatter of street vendors become the background music of your journey. Even at night, Istanbul's streets do not sleep. The Istiklal Avenue in Beyoğlu comes alive with music, lights, and energy. Street musicians play everything from Turkish folk songs to jazz, and young people fill the cafes, restaurants, and bars. For a different kind of experience, head to Ortaköy, where you can enjoy kumpir, stuffed baked potato by the Bosphorus, with the illuminated Bosphorus Bridge in the background. Nighttime in Istanbul is a reminder that this city, with all its history, is also modern and dynamic, always reinventing itself. What makes getting lost in Istanbul so magical is the fact that every turn has a surprise. One moment you're in a busy market, the next you are in a quiet alley with a hidden mosque, and then you stumble upon a rooftop cafe offering breathtaking views. The city is a maze, but it is a maze you never want to escape. Each step deepens your connection with Istanbul and gives you a new story to tell. In many ways, Istanbul is a city that teaches you to slow down. It is not a place to rush through with a checklist of attractions. The true joy comes from wandering aimlessly, letting the streets guide you. Sit in a park and watch the fishermen on the Galata Bridge, hop on a random ferry just to see where it takes you, follow the aroma of fresh bread to a local bakery, or stop to pet the friendly street cats that are beloved by locals. These small moments make your journey unforgettable. Istanbul is not perfect. It is chaotic, noisy, and crowded at times. But that is part of its charm. Its beauty lies in its contrasts. Ancient and modern, east and west, sacred and ordinary. To truly understand it, you must let yourself get lost, because it is in the act of losing yourself that you find the real Istanbul. Ultimately, Lost in the Streets of Istanbul, A Journey Through Time is not just a title, it is an invitation. An invitation to walk slowly, to absorb, to connect, and to feel. Because when you leave Istanbul, you will not just remember the landmarks, but also the smell of roasted chestnuts, the sound of tram bells, the warmth of the people, and the feeling of being transported through time. Istanbul is not just a city you visit, it is a city that stays with you forever. If you liked this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment and click the button to subscribe.